A founder came to me 3 weeks into trying to fix his marketing message. He'd been going back and forth with AI all the time, tweaking headlines, rewriting copy, running the same problem through ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, getting average answers everywhere. I sat down, structured one prompt and hit enter. In 12 seconds, it produced the exact positioning strategy he needed. He had it live on his website within 15 minutes. The traffic that was already coming in started converting. Same AI, different input, completely different result. Most people are using AI like a vending machine. Put something in, get something out, complain when it's wrong. The people winning right now are using it like a thought partner, and the gap between those two groups is only getting wider. Today, I'm going to close that gap for you. We're covering how AI actually works, the prompting framework I use in my own businesses, which tools to use for what, and how to make sure AI makes you harder to replace, not easier. Let's get into it. First, let's kill the magic. AI isn't magic, it's pattern recognition in an expensive suit. Here's what's actually happening under the hood. AI has processed an enormous amount of world's information. Documents, videos, code, Reddit, LinkedIn, all of it. It broke that content down into tokens, which are roughly chunks of words, and it learned to predict, given this input, what's the most logical next token. That's why if you say twinkle, twinkle, little, it says star. It's not thinking. It's completing a pattern based on everything it's ever seen. And this is also why the quality of your output is completely determined by the quality of your input. If you give AI a vague question, it has nothing specific to pattern match against. So it gives you a generic, watered down, weak answer. If you give it rich, specific context, your business, your customer, your actual problem, it has everything it needs to give you something genuinely useful. The people getting bad outputs from AI aren't using a bad tool. They are just giving bad inputs. So how do you give it good inputs? There's 4-part structure I use for every serious prompt. Number 1, role. Tell it who to be, not just you are a marketer. Be more specific. Act like a world-class conversion strategist for B2B software companies. That one line filters everything AI knows down to a relevant slice. Without it, you get a generalist answer. With it, you get a specialist. Context. Give it a full picture. If you have a sales call transcript, a product spec, a brief from your team, paste it in. Claude Opus 4.7 now handles up to 1 million tokens of context, which is essentially 2 full novels worth of information in a single prompt. Use that. The more relevant background you give it, the more precise the output. Command. Be explicit about what you want, not just help me with my marketing. Write 3 headline variants for a B2B SaaS landing page targeting CFOs. Focus on reducing month and close time. Make the implicit explicit. Every assumption you leave unstated is a place where AI will just guess. Format. Tell it how you want the answer structured. Bullet points, a table, a PDF, a CSV for import into another tool. If you don't specify, it defaults to long prose paragraphs that you have to reformat anyway. If I go further, I'll give it an exact template and tell it to fill it in and not deviate. These 4 things, role, context, command, format, are the difference between AI that's useful and AI that wastes your time. Once you've got the framework down, there's a more advanced move that changes how you think about AI. Most people just push prompts. You do 80% of the thinking, hand it to AI, and let it finish the last 20%. You are directing. You are writing the instructions. You are doing the heavy lifting. Pull prompting flips that. Instead of telling AI how to do the task, you tell it the outcome you need, and you let AI figure out the best way to get there. Here's how it works in practice. You give it the role and context as normal. Then, instead of writing out the full brief, you say, I need a sequence that converts cold leads into book calls. Ask me all the questions you need to create this, then give it to me in a table. It asks you the questions, you answer them. Use voice to text for this, so I'm just talking, not typing. Then, it builds the whole thing from your answers. This is how software engineers have been building for years. Spec-driven development, where you define the outcome and let the system figure out the implementation. It's now the smartest way to work with AI for any serious business problem, which tool to use. Here's the section where I'm going to update what you have probably heard before. The old advice was, pick one tool, master it, don't switch. That's still true when you're starting out. Learning AI is like learning an instrument. If you spread yourself across 3 at once, you never go deep enough on any of them to actually get good. Pick one, build a real mental model, then expand. In 2026, the honest answer for experienced operators is more nuanced. There's no single best tool anymore. Claude, still the one I use most, leads the SWE Bench Verified, the main coding benchmark, fewer hallucinations than the competition, and the writing quality so far, to me, is the best across the board. Opus 4.7 with a 1 million token context window holds up on complex document-heavy work in a way most models don't pass. If you're doing serious writing, building automations, or working with code, Claude is where I'll start. Gemini, if your team lives inside Google Workspace or you need real-time research pull from current web data, Gemini is excellent. It also has the deepest Google integration of any model, which matters if you're running a Google native business. ChatGPT is still the most approachable, probably the most famous to the mass market. It has the strongest plugin ecosystem and the best voice mode. Great for brainstorming, broad ideation, and teams who need the lowest barrier to entry. For anyone starting out, pick Claude, learn it properly. Once you understand how prompting actually works, the others come quickly. Here's one of the most underused tools available to any operator right now. A master prompt is a document about you, your role, your business, your team structure, your customers, how you think. You give it to AI at the start of any important conversation. And suddenly, the output is personalized to your actual situation instead of being generic advice anyone could have received. Think about it this way. If a new team member started tomorrow and you wanted them to give you genuinely useful input from day one, you brief them thoroughly. You tell them what the business does, who the customers are, what matters, how things work. That's your master prompt. Every leader on my team has one. It's a non-negotiable because without it, you're getting completion from a stranger. With it, you're getting thinking from someone who actually knows your context. How to build one? Use pull prompting. Tell Claude, I want to create a master prompt for my role as CEO, COO, whatever it is. Ask me all the questions you need. Answer them by voice, save it as a PDF, load it into every important AI conversation you have. Once you write it, you never have to write again. And it works across tools. Paste it into ChatGPT, load it into Gemini, use it anywhere. The system prompts. Master prompts personalize your inputs. System prompts automate your outputs. A system prompt is a safe instruction set that you build once and reuse forever. Load it into a Claude project, custom GPT, or a Gemini gem, and every conversation in that space runs on those instructions automatically. I use them for research workflows, for strategic thinking, for content production. My team gets the link and the topic, the system prompt handles the rest. No rebriefing, no inconsistency, no explaining what format you want every single time. Here's a shortcut if you want to see what world-class system prompts look like. Search Leak System Prompts AI Tools GitHub. And you'll find a collection of the actual system prompts from Perplexity, Notion, Lovable, and 20 plus other major tools. Study them. They show you exactly how powerful this can be when built properly. Future-proofing. I want to close on something that I think matters more than any framework or tool. AI is getting better every month or day. The question I keep hearing from smart operators is, what do I build that doesn't get replaced? And my answer comes down to these three things. First, the taste. AI can produce volume, but it cannot judge quality. Your ability to know what's great in your industry, in your market, for your customers is built through deep exposure to the best work that exists. Feed that deliberately. The people with the sharpest taste will always be the ones directing AI, not the ones being replaced by it. Second, vision. AI can optimize what exists, but it cannot imagine what doesn't. Carve out time to think about where you're going, what your industry should look like, what problems haven't been solved yet. Doodle, read, think. That is your edge. Number three, care. AI can simulate attention. It cannot replace genuine care for your customers, your team, your community. The operators who win long-term will be the ones who use AI to do more of the boring work, so they have more time for the human work that actually compounds. AI is a force multiplier, but only if you're bringing something worth multiplying. If this click and you want to go one level deeper into actually building with AI and not just chatting with it, go ahead and watch my Claude Code Masterclass. It's the hands-on companion to everything we covered today. Real builds, real business, use cases from zero to actually shipping. The link is right here. Drop a comment below with the one thing you're committing to change about how you use AI. I'm curious to know and I read every single one.